little surprise guest. He'll spank me later on this, but he's my guy. And I believe in having people submit to you. I believe in having people to tell you what they saw while they were there. Because our goal today also is to dispel some idiotic rumors about what has happened in other places with regards to what we've been trying to work on. So I want to give Mr. Al Franken 2 minutes, because he is the person I didn't know from Adam Housecat. He had come here, he met me in Lithonia, and he had to do the financial research with regards to where we were at the time, and then present what was happening. Mr. Franken.
Thank you, Mr. Larry. Lithonia is, I've served there as city councilman, and also most recently as Mayor Pro Tem, and presently serve as the chair for the Downtown Development Authority in Lithonia. So with Jason, we really wanted to begin our cultural arts to get everything back up to speed, because our concerts at that time had died down, and our facility, the Lithonia Amphitheater, was inactive. So I was a member of our cultural arts team and group. And one of the things that I wanted to do is to be able to justify and verify who Jason Lary was. And I didn't know him. I had never attended a concert, so I didn't really have a vested interest from that regard. But I wanted to have the facility up and running because I knew it would serve the community. So what this entailed for me was actually presenting to our community a presentation. It was a 70-page PowerPoint presentation that really dealt with the cultural arts piece, and it also dealt with Mr. Lary, and it really dealt with a lot of the financials. So I went through the city's records from the police department, which dealt with a lot of the parking and things of that nature. Went through the records that dealt with what we actually have on the books. And what I determined is that we had Mr. Lary, between capital infrastructure investment, had invested just off capital infrastructure by itself over $100,000 into our facility. And in addition to that, with the additional funds that, revenues that the city was generating, it totaled over $200,000 over the years with the money that he had brought into our community. And at that particular presentation, the time that we did it in a regular council meeting, so the citizens got to be there. In fact, I invited some representatives from Congressman Hank Johnson's office, and Eric Hubbard, who was actually running for a council seat, was actually in attendance. So he could actually verify, what I'm telling you today. And so that's when I really began to believe in Jason Lary. And one of the things what really did it for me is I also went through the AJC archives. So I did as much of a thorough report as what you could have done in regards to it. And from that research, I remember him saying that he would, he told the city of Lithonia that he would invest, that he would put some money to help them out with their troubles financially at that time. And I actually went, and he just said it casually in conversation. He had no idea that I'd go back and try to verify and see all this stuff. And when I did that, I found what he said that was printed in the AJC. So it was at that point that I tuned out all the noise, what everybody else had to say. But at that point, after that presentation, the conversation changed in our community. People began to respect Mr. Lary a whole lot more, because now they had justification. Now they had truth. And that's what, over the years, I have invested my time with Mr. Lary, and I think he's going to make a phenomenal mayor. And one of the things that I know is that he has the experience. It's very rare to have someone who's actually gone through the legislative process of actually even starting a city, but let alone doing it legislatively as a mayor or as a council person. So having that experience is a tremendous advantage. So I want you all to join in supporting and voting for Mr. Lary. I think you all will be very happy. I have seen him through ups, downs, so I have tremendous faith and tremendous trust that he will be the right person for the job, and you will not regret that decision. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Franklin, and to Mayor Darrell Honoré. Legacy is what it's all about, and making relationships and being able to continue your legacy with the relationships that you build over the years, and to build the city from the ground up that can support a legacy in years to come. It takes consistency, mental agility, and unquestionable stamina, period. Now, I'm going to tell you publicly, because I feel this way, I am Superman. I know this for sure, but I want you to know. So this is what I am going to do. And I challenge Mr. Favors and I challenge Mr. Hill to do the same. This will be on our site this evening. This is our Hillendale Internal Medical Record request. I'm going to sign it. You can pull it, get my records, and I challenge them to do the same, because I know I'm mentally and physically fit to do exactly what we need to do with regards to the city of Stonecrest. And I challenge them to do the same. So the same as our tax returns, and of course the medical request, this is part of being transparent. If you want to be out there, if you're going to make these statements, then you share everything that I'm sharing. I want to see it all. I want all the citizens to see it all the same way. So show your records for both of you, because I've shown you mine and I've shown you my transparency. Truth and facts. And these are the things that have to head to the poll from this thing. I'm uniquely qualified as the person to be your mayor. I have a mental aptitude, depth of experience. As I told you, I am Superman. At least I think I am anyway. So I have a physical stamina. It is around-the-clock work to start a new city and to be there and have the meetings and the grit and the people that are pulling on you all day long. I love it. But it takes a certain amount of perseverance to be able to do that. So I'm also a proud property owner of many properties in Stonecrest, throughout Georgia, throughout different counties. I challenge them also to show their deed to their home. Here is mine, up front and personal. So I want to see if you are a real adult that has real property and paying real bills, because you're going to need that type of experience to lead what is happening in our area. So I submit to you this also, and I'll put it online tonight for you to peruse, or you can just do something easy. Go to the county and look it up, and you'll see my wife and I on multiple properties, but particularly in Lithonia and Stonecrest and across the different counties. So we own our own home, and I take pride in this statement. I am a real grown-up with real bills, with real opportunities, and real kids that we put through real colleges. Then you can start to judge what kind of person I am. Then you can start to judge the level of grit and the determination in pulling yourself off the ground when it's showtime or when you're kicked. Then you start to tell whether or not what your mantle is at that point. That's the type of individual. That's the type of person. That's the type of character we have to have with regards to being the mayor of Stonecrest. So once again, I challenge Charles Hill and Douglas Favor to do the same, in all fairness and transparency, because that's what we're talking about today. So we're all having various opinions about these things that need to happen, but it's real solid for us in this arena. And by its very nature, we'll just disagree on some things, but that's okay. Your mayor, particularly your inaugural mayor, has to be near bulletproof. It can't be childish. It can't be innuendos. It can't be problems. It can't be mommy and daddy. It's got to be that person showing up every day, 7, 8 a.m., midnight, to do the job for the citizens of Stonecrest. And I'm prepared and ready to do that. I love this community. I don't know what else to say about it. I'm ready to take us to the next level. There are some questions that came up front. And if you want to ask a question, please pull your card. Give it to the young lady here, and I'll read the ones that I have so far. While we're here,